You can't do this.
I have to. It's the law.
The law is wrong.
Enough. This coin is a fair weight. Then match it with dust. Careful now, don't spill. There. We're square. This passage foretells the trials we face. What must we do?
Heed the signs, prepare wisely.
I understand.
Picture a city that didn't exist 2 years ago. Now fill it with 40,000 desperate men living in canvas tents that catch fire every week. Add streets so deep in mud that horses drown in them. Actually drown, their bodies left to rot where they fell because nobody has time to dig them out. Add gambling halls that never close where fortunes change hands in minutes. Diseases that kill hundreds. Crime so rampant that citizens form mobs and hang people in public squares without trials. That's San Francisco in June of 1850, the fastest growing city in human history. A place built on nothing but gold fever and greed. A place where you could strike it rich, selling shovels in the morning, and lose everything to a fire by evening. We're going back there tonight, not as tourists looking at cable cars and Fisherman's Wharf. We're living it, one man, everything he saw, smelled, heard, and survived. I'm Henry. I make these history stories. And honestly, I have no clue if anyone actually sleeps to them or if you're all just people who like hearing about cities where men died in mud, where neighbors hang criminals without judges, where fortunes were built one careful measurement at a time. Either way, get comfortable. Here we go. Your eyes open to darkness. For a moment, maybe half a second, you've forgotten where you are. Then it hits you. The first thing isn't sound, it's cold. November cold in San Francisco. Not Boston cold. Different. Wetter. The kind of cold that gets into canvas walls like they're not even there. Like the tent is just a suggestion of shelter. Your breath makes fog in front of your face. You can't see it in the darkness, but you feel it. Moisture on your lips. The blanket rough wool cost you $3, half a week's wages from the job you just lost, isn't enough. Never is. You're wearing your shirt to sleep. Your one spare shirt. Tomorrow you'll wear the same clothes you wore today. The same clothes you've worn for 8 days straight because you haven't had time or money or energy to wash them. Then the smell. It's not one smell, it's layers. Canvas. That's the first layer. Wet canvas rotting in permanent dampness from the foam that rolls in every single night off the Pacific. The tent has been standing here for 6 months, maybe longer. Nobody knows. The man who pitched it probably died or left or struck it rich and abandoned it. The canvas smells like mold and salt and something organic you can't quite place. Wood smoke, that's the second layer. Mixed with the canvas, coal fires burning in thousands of makeshift stoves, everyone burning whatever they can find. Scrap lumber, furniture, sometimes parts of other tents. The smoke hangs low in the cold air, gets into everything. Your clothes, your hair, your lung, human waste. That's the third layer, sharp, acidic. 40,000 men crammed onto this peninsula and maybe 300 outhouses, most of them just holes in the ground that drain directly into the mud. Some men don't even bother with the outhouses. They just go wherever they stand. The smell is constant. You stop noticing it after the first week, but it's there, always there. The fourth layer is mud itself, not dirt, mud, rich with minerals and decay and everything that's sunk into it. During the winter rains, this mud gets steep that horses and mules sink to their bellies. Some of them drown, actually drown in mud. Their bodies are left where they fall because digging them out takes 6 men and most of the day, and nobody has that kind of time. Salt, that's the fifth layer. From the bay, from the Pacific beyond, you can taste it in the fog, feel it on your skin when you wake. Everything here carries the ocean. Sweat, your own sweat. That's the sixth layer. You haven't bathed in 8 days, haven't had the money to pay for hot water, haven't had the energy to haul buckets from the public well and heat them over a fire. So you just exist in your own smell, in everyone else's smell, 40,000 unwashed men in a space that shouldn't hold 10,000. And underneath it all, if you concentrate, there's coffee. Someone somewhere is brewing coffee. 2 bits a cup, 25 cents. That's half a day's wages for a laborer. But men pay it. Because coffee is one of the few things that makes this bearable. 7 layers. You've learned to catalog them. Every morning, the smell test. If you can smell all 7, you're still alive. Still breathing? Still here. Your eyes adjust to the darkness. The tent is 12 feet by 12 feet. Canvas walls sagging in the middle where water pools. Dirt floor. Not even wood planks. Just packed earth that turns to mud when it rains. When you first arrived, you thought this was temporary. A place to sleep for a week until you found something better. That was 7 months ago. November 1849. You came to California with $43 in coins, 1 spare shirt, a letter of introduction to a merchant you've never met, and dreams of gold that died within 48 hours of arrival. The letter of introduction turned out to be worthless. The merchant had left San Francisco 3 months before you arrived, went to the mines himself. Nobody knows if he struck it rich or died trying. The $43 is now $18. You've been surviving Monday labor, loading cargo at the wharves, hauling freight up the hills. Anything that pays, 50 cents a day if you're lucky, nothing if there's no work. You've learned the rhythm, wake before dawn, wire to the docks, stand with 100 other men. Hope someone picks you, work until dark if they do, go hungry if they don't. Yesterday there was no work. Today you need to find something else. You sit up slowly, your back hurts. 23 years old and your back hurts like you're 50. The straw mattress, not really a mattress, just a burlap sack filled with straw that you bought for $1, has compressed into almost nothing. You're basically sleeping on dirt. Next to you, Wilhelm is still snoring. Wilhelm is from Munich, maybe 30 years old, speaks English with an accent so thick you understand maybe half of what he says. He's been in San Francisco for 5 months, works at the wharves when there's work, sleeps 16 hours a day when there's not. You share this tent, split the $1 a night rent, 50 cents each. That's $3.50 a week. In Boston, $3.50 would rent you a room in a boarding house. A real room, with walls, with a door that locks. Here it gets you half a canvas tent on a mud slope. Wilhelm doesn't stir as you stand. He'll sleep until the sun is fully up. Then he'll eat whatever's left from yesterday, probably nothing, and walk to the docks. Same as you, same as everyone. You splash water on your face from the tin basin. The water is brown. You fetched it last night from the public well on Sacramento Street. Waited 30 minutes in line, behind Chinese workers, Mexican miners, Chilean merchants, an Australian who kept trying to sell you a guaranteed gold claim for $20. The well water isn't clean. You know that. Everyone knows that. But it's water. And boiling it takes time and fuel, and you have neither. So you drink it brown, hope it doesn't make you sick. Some men get sick. Dysentery, cholera. Those are the words everyone whispers. You've seen men healthy one day and dead 3 days later. Seen bodies wrapped in canvas and buried in unmarked graves on the hills west of town. You haven't gotten sick yet. Yet. Your clothes are where you left them, folded on a wooden crate that serves as furniture. One crate. That's all you have. Wilhelm has another crate. Between you, that's the entire household. You pull on your trousers. Canvas. Stiff with mud that won't wash out no matter how hard you scrub. The knees are worn through. You can see skin when you bend down. Your shirt is cotton. Was white when you left Boston. Now it's gray. Permanently gray. The collar is frayed. One of the buttons is missing. You've been meaning to sew it back on. Been meaning to for 3 months. Your boots. The boots are the most important thing you own. More important than the shirt. More important than the $3 you have hidden in the bottom of your crate wrapped in a piece of oilcloth. The boots cost you $8. That was in Boston, before you left. Your father gave you the money, said you'll need good boots. California is hard on feet. Your father was right. The boots are cracked now. The leather is split along the left sole. They leak when it rains. And it rains constantly from November through March. But they're still boots. Still keep your feet mostly dry. Still better than the canvas shoes some men wear. You lace them carefully. Double knots. A man with broken bootlaces in San Francisco can lose a day's work limping home for repairs. You step outside. The fog is just starting to lift. That's the pattern in San Francisco. Every single night, fog rolls in from the Pacific thick enough that you can't see 10 feet. Then around 7 or 8 in the morning, it burns off, reveals the chaos underneath. The tent city sprawls up the hill in every direction. Hundreds of canvas structures. Some are 12 by 12 like yours. Some are smaller. Some are bigger, the gambling halls and saloons and stores. All of them sagging, all of them stained, all of them temporary. Everything in San Francisco is temporary. The street, if you can call it a street, is mud. Not a little mud, not puddles. Mud, 6 inches deep, sometimes 12. You've learned to walk on the edges where it's only ankle deep. In the middle of the street, 20 feet away, there's a dead mule. Been there for 4 days now, drowned in the mud during the last rain. Its owner tried to dig it out for maybe an hour, then gave up, just left it. The body is starting to bloat, starting to smell, but nobody has time to move it. Nobody has the equipment, so it stays. Eventually someone will burn it, or the next rain will wash it down to the bay, or it'll just rot into the mud. That's San Francisco. You pick your way down the hill toward Montgomery Street. The city is waking up. You can hear it before you see it, hammering from construction sites. They're building a brick warehouse on Sansom Street, the crash of lumber being unloaded at the wharves. Voices shouting in Cantonese from the Chinese laundry next to your tent. They work 20-hour days. You don't know how. You don't know why. But every morning at 5, you hear them start. A dog is barking somewhere. Someone is screaming. Could be a fight. Could be a murder. Could be nothing. You've learned not to investigate. The church bells start, not just one church, dozens, every denomination, Catholic, Protestant, Methodist, Presbyterian, all of them ringing at slightly different times because nobody has synchronized clocks. The sound carries through the fog, echoes off the hills. The bells are old, Spanish mission bells, cast in Mexico City and shipped here before the Americans came. Before gold, before any of this, those bells have been ringing for 70 years. Since 1776, when this was just a mission, a handful of priests and Indians. Now it's 40,000 men tearing the earth apart for yellow metal. Montgomery Street is the commercial heart of San Francisco. The street is wider than the tent city lanes, maybe 30 feet across. Still mud. But someone tried to lay wooden planks as sidewalks. Most of the planks have been stolen for firewood. The ones that remain are broken, slick with algae. The buildings here are more substantial. Not canvas. Wood. Real lumber. Some of them even have glass windows. That means money. Glass has to be shipped around Cape Horn. Takes 6 months. Costs more than gold by weight. You pass a saloon called the Veranda. Still open. Probably never closed. Men stumbling out into the morning light. One of them vomits in the street. Doesn't even break stride. Just keeps walking. You pass a butcher shop. The smell hits you from 20 feet away. Blood. Fresh blood. The butcher slaughters animals at dawn. Right there on the street. Cattle. Pigs. Sometimes chickens. The blood runs into the mud. Mixes with everything else. You pass a boarding house. 2 stories. Wood siding. Assigned rooms $2 per night. $2. That's 4 days of your rent. For 1 night in a room with walls. You keep walking. Kearney's General Goods sits between the Veranda Saloon and a lawyer's office. The store is small, maybe 12 feet wide, 20 feet deep, but it's built of actual lumber, has glass windows, has a canvas awning to keep merchandise dry. You've walked past this store 100 times. Never been inside. Never had reason to. Until yesterday. Yesterday, Wilhelm came back to the tent and said, "Kearney needs clerk. You should try." Wilhelm doesn't talk much. When he does, you listen. You stop in front of the store. Through the window, you can see shelves crammed with goods. Picks, shovels, gold pans, rope, nails, hammers, flour in 50-pound sacks, beans, bacon, coffee, tobacco, playing cards, everything a miner needs, everything a man building a city needs. The front door is closed. There's no sign indicating hours, but you can see lamplight inside. You check your pocket watch. No, wait, you don't have a pocket watch anymore. You sold it 3 weeks ago for $5. Ate for 10 days on that $5. You look at the church tower, estimate the time by the angle of light, maybe 6:30, 7. You push open the door. The smell inside is different from the street. Better. Lamp oil, tobacco, canvas and coffee, and something else. Order. The smell of order. The store is cramped but organized. Every shelf labeled. Every item in its place. The floor is wood, swept clean. Your boots leave mud prints, and you immediately feel ashamed. Behind the counter stands a man, Silas Kearney. You know the name. Everyone knows the name. Kearney has been in San Francisco since early 1849, one of the first merchants to arrive after gold was discovered. He's survived when most others failed. Kearney is maybe 50 years old, short, 5'6" at most, weathered skin that speaks of years in harder climates, gray hair cut military short, eyes that are sharp, calculating, hands surprisingly delicate for someone who's spent 2 years hauling freight. He looks up when you enter, doesn't smile, doesn't frown, just looks. Help you, he asks. His voice is flat, Boston accent, not strong but there. You recognize it because you have the same accent. I heard you need a clerk, you say. Where'd you hear that? Wilhelm Adler, German fellow, works the wharves. Kearney nods once. Wilhelm's honest. That counts for something. He comes around the counter, studies you, up and down, takes in your worn clothes, your cracked boots, your unwashed hair. You literate, he asks. Yes, sir. Can you do sums in your head? Yes, sir. Prove it. 37 times 12. You think. 30 times 12 is 360. 7 times 12 is 84. 360 plus 84, 444. Kearney nods. Most men can't do that. Most men in this city can barely count past 20. He walks back behind the counter. Opens a ledger. The pages are covered in neat handwriting. Numbers and columns. Every entry precise. This is the daybook, he says. Every sale gets recorded. Item, price. Customer, if they have credit. Running total at the end of each day. You keep the daybook. You make a mistake. I know about it. You make 2 mistakes, you're fired. You steal, I shoot you. Understood. Yes, sir. The job pays $5 a month, not a week. A month, 6 days, 7 in the morning until 6 at night. Sometimes later if we're busy. You get half an hour for lunch. You eat what you bring. I don't feed you. No drinking, no gambling, no bringing women around. You show up drunk, you're done. You show up late, I dock your pay. You don't show up at all, you're fired. Any questions? $5 a month. You do the math instantly. That's $1.25 a week. Your rent is $3.50 a week. Food is at least 75 cents a day. $5.25 a week minimum. $5 a month is $1.25 a week. You'll be going backwards. But if you don't take it, you're broke in 3 weeks. Then what? The mines men die in the mines, or they come back with nothing, with less than nothing. When do I start, you ask? Right now. Kearney reaches under the counter, pulls out a cloth, hands it to you. Clean your boots, then I'll show you the scales. You wipe your boots as clean as you can. The mud doesn't come off completely. Never does. But you try. Kearney watches, says nothing. When you're done, he gestures you behind the counter. The counter is maybe 10 feet long, 3 feet deep. On it sits a brass scale. The scale is beautiful. That's the word that comes to mind. Beautiful. 2 pans suspended from a central beam. The beam balanced on a fulcrum, every part polished, gleaming even in lamplight. This is the most important tool in the store, Kearney says. More important than the merchandise. More important than the ledger. More important than you. He reaches into a drawer, pulls out a small leather pouch, opens it. Inside, gold dust. Everything in San Francisco gets weighed, he says. Gold dust, flour, coffee, tobacco, nails, everything. If these scales are off by 1 ounce, we lose money. Or worse, we get a reputation for cheating. Reputation is the only currency that matters more than gold. Understand? Yes, sir. Balance them. You've never balanced scales like these. Your father was a stonecutter, working in measurements of inches, sometimes fractions of inches, but never ounces, never grains. You look at the scales, both pans are empty. The beam is tilted slightly to the left. There's a counterweight, Kearney says, under the left pan, adjustable. You turn the screw until the beam is level. You find the screw, turn it. The beam shifts. Too far. You turn it back. Still not level. You try again, slower this time. Watching the beam, tiny adjustments. The beam centers, holds. Good, Kearney says. Now keep it that way. Every morning you check these scales. Every transaction, you zero them. Every night you clean them. If I pay you find them out of balance, you're fired. If I ever find dust on them, you're docked a day's pay. These scales are precision instruments. You treat them with respect. Yes, sir. He puts the gold pouch back in the drawer, locks it. Today you watch, tomorrow you practice. Day after tomorrow you start selling. Questions? No, sir. Then pay attention. The morning passes in a blur of new information. You watch Kearney sell, watch him measure, watch him calculate, watch him record. A miner comes in, needs a gold pan. Kearney shows him three options: tin for $2, iron for $4, copper for $7. Copper doesn't rust, Kearney says. When you're standing in water 12 hours a day, rust is the enemy. Iron rusts, tin rusts faster, copper lasts. Your choice. The miner picks up the copper pan, feels the weight, tests the rim. $7, he says. $7, Kearney confirms. The miner reaches into his belt, pulls out a leather pouch, pours gold dust onto the scales. Kearney zeroes the scales first, checks the beam, level. Then he pours the dust onto one pan, places brass weights on the other, 1 ounce, 2 ounces, starts removing weights. The beam centers at 7/16 of an ounce. Gold is trading at $16 an ounce, Kearney says. 7/16 times 16 equals 7. We're square. He sweeps the dust into a separate pan, pours it into a jar, marks the sale in the daybook. 1 copper pan, $7 paid in dust. The whole transaction takes maybe 90 seconds. The miner leaves with his pan. Kearney turns to you. You saw that? Yes, sir. What did I do first? Zeroed the scales. Why, blah, to make sure the measurement is accurate. That's part of it. The other part is the customer saw me do it. He knows I'm not cheating him. Trust matters. Next, you weighed the dust, calculated the value. Did I tell him the calculation? You think back. Yes, 7/16 times 16 equals 7. Why, huh? So he knows you're not cheating. Correct. Always show your work. Always let the customer see the numbers. Some men can't multiply. That's fine. But they need to see you're not hiding anything. What happened after the sale? You recorded it in the daybook. Always, every sale. No exceptions. End of the day, the daybook total should match the cash and dust in the drawer. If it doesn't, there's a problem. Either I made a mistake, or you made a mistake, or someone's stealing. We find the problem. We fix it. Every time. He closes the daybook, looks at you. You'll make mistakes. Everyone does. The question is whether you learn from them. Understand? Yes, sir. Good. Now watch the next one. By noon, you've watched Kearney sell 20 items: nails, rope, flour, coffee, tobacco, a shovel, 2 blankets, a hammer, playing cards. Each time, zero the scales. Weigh accurately, show the math, record the sale. The rhythm is hypnotic, calming. After 7 months of chaos, of scrambling for day labor, of never knowing if you'll eat tomorrow, there's something deeply satisfying about this precision. Every item has a price. Every weight has a value. Every transaction gets recorded. Order. Your father would have understood this. He cut stone for 40 years, measured angles, made sure blocks fit perfectly, built structures that would stand for generations. This is different. You're not building with stone. You're building with numbers, with accuracy, with trust. But it's the same principle. Get it right every time. No shortcuts. At noon, Kearney says, lunch, half hour. Be back by 1. You step outside. The fog has burned off completely. The sun is out. That's rare for November. Usually it's gray until evening, but today is clear, almost warm. You walk to a food stall 2 blocks away. A Chinese man sells rice and vegetables for 50 cents. That's your lunch budget. 50 cents, 1/10 of your weekly earnings. The rice is sticky. The vegetables are bok choy and something else you don't recognize. It's hot. That's all that matters. Hot food. You eat standing up. There are no chairs, no tables. Just men standing around eating fast so they can get back to work. You think about the math. $5 a month, $1.25 a week, minus $3.50 for rent, minus $5.25 for food. You're negative $6.50 a week, $6.50 in the hole, every week. Unless you find a way to spend less or earn more. Spending less means eating less. You're already down to 1 meal a day most days. Earning more means what Kearney pays, what he pays. You could look for night work, but who's hiring at night saloons need bartenders? You have no experience. Gambling halls need dealers. You don't know the games well enough. You could steal. That thought comes and you hate yourself for it. But it comes. Men steal in San Francisco all the time. Tools from work sites, goods from stores, gold dust from miners too drunk to protect it. Some men get away with it. Some men get caught. The ones who get caught end up in Portsmouth Square with ropes around their necks. You push the thought away. Finish your rice. Get back to the store at 1. Kearney is waiting. This afternoon you practice, he says. I'll call out weights. You balance the scales. For 3 hours you practice. Kearney calls weights. 1 ounce, 3 ounces, 7/16, 12 1/4. You add brass weights to the pan, remove them, adjust, get it wrong. Try again. By 4 o'clock you can hit any weight within 2 tries. Better, Kearney says. Tomorrow you'll do it in 1 try. The day after you'll do it without thinking. At 6 he closes the store. That's the day, he says. Come back tomorrow, same time. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You step into the evening. The fog is rolling back in, right on schedule. By midnight, visibility will be 10 feet again. By morning, the cycle repeats. You walk back to the tent. Wilhelm is there, heating beans over a small fire outside the tent. The fire is illegal. The city banned open fires after the last big blaze. But everyone ignores the law. You need heat. You need to cook. So you light fires and hope they don't spread. Got job, Wilhelm asks. Got job. Good pay, $5 a month. Wilhelm's face doesn't change. Is not much. No, it's not much. But his job, better than no job. Yeah. You sit next to the fire. Wilhelm hands you a tin plate with beans, maybe half a cup. You eat slowly. Make it last. The beans are under seasoned, slightly burnt. They're the best thing you've eaten all day. After dinner, Wilhelm goes into the tent. You hear him settle onto his mattress. Hear his breathing slow. Within 5 minutes, he's snoring. You stay outside. The city is changing from day city to night city. The transformation happens every evening. Happens fast. The legitimate businesses close. The stores, the warehouses, the shipping offices. The illegitimate businesses open. The gambling halls light up. The saloons get louder. Prostitutes emerge. You've seen them. Women rare as diamonds in a city that's 95% male. Some of them charge $5 just to dance, just to stand close to a man for 3 minutes. Crime shifts into higher gear. You can feel it. The quality of the air changes. The voices get harder. The laughter sounds wrong. You've learned to be inside by dark, learned to keep your head down, learned which streets to avoid. You learned all of this the hard way. Second week in San Francisco, you made the mistake of walking through Portsmouth Square after midnight. 3 men cornered you, demanded money. You had $2. Gave it to them. They let you go. You walked away, grateful they didn't break your ribs. That was cheap education. Some men pay with their lives. You go into the tent, lie down on your straw mattress, pull the wool blanket up to your chin. Outside, you can hear the city. Hammering, still hammering. Men working through the night because daylight hours aren't enough. Voices in Spanish, in Cantonese, in languages you don't recognize. A fiddle playing somewhere, badly, off-key, but playing. Someone is singing, drunk. The words are slurred, something about Kentucky, about home. Everyone here is from somewhere else. Everyone misses somewhere else, but nobody leaves. Or if they leave, more people arrive to replace them. The city keeps growing, keeps burning, keeps rebuilding, keeps dying, keeps being born. And tomorrow you'll wake up, walk to Kearney's, balance the scales, learn to measure gold dust, learn to read customers, learn to keep the daybook. Small steps, careful steps, the kind your father would recognize. Not glory, not riches, just showing up, just getting it right. You close your eyes. Sleep comes quick when you're this tired, when you've been on your feet for 11 hours, when your back aches, when your hands smell like brass and tobacco. You sleep and dream of balanced scales. 3 months pass. November, December, January. The rhythm becomes automatic. Wake before dawn, walk to Kearney's, unlock the door. He gave you a key after the first month. Check the scales, zero them, sweep the floor, light the lamps, wait for Kearney to arrive at 7. The work is repetitive. That's good. Repetition breeds accuracy. You learn to read customers in the first 30 seconds. The way they walk in tells you everything. Miners fresh from the diggings walk heavy, tired, desperate. They need tools. They pay in dust. They don't negotiate. Merchants walk light, calculating. They're buying to resell. They negotiate everything. You give them 2% off for volume, no more. Kearney taught you that. Gamblers come in for playing cards and tobacco. They pay in coins, silver. Sometimes gold eagles if they've had a good night. They're the easiest sales. They don't care about price, they care about speed. You learn which suppliers water down their flour, which teamsters show up on time, which wholesale buyers pay their bills, and which ones you have to chase. Kearney watches everything, corrects mistakes immediately, praises nothing. But after your first month, he raises your pay to $7 a month. You're learning, he says, that's all. No other explanation. $7 is still not enough. You're still losing money every week. But slower now. You've cut your food budget to 40 cents a day. Eating less. Feeling it. Your pants are looser. Your ribs show. But you're learning a trade. Learning precision. Learning to count. January becomes February. February becomes March. By March, you can zero the scales without thinking. Can calculate gold weight in your head. Can read the daybook at a glance and know if the totals are off. Kearney gives you harder tasks, inventory management, ordering from suppliers, negotiating transport costs with teamsters. You meet Rodrigo, Mexican teamster with 4 mules and a wagon. He hauls goods from the wharves to Montgomery Street, charges $5 a load. That's too much, you tell him, is what I charge, Rodrigo says. Other teamsters charge $3.50. Other teamsters lose your goods. I don't lose nothing. You check. He's right. Rodrigo has a reputation. Honest. Reliable. Worth the extra $1.50. You use him for important shipments. Kearney notices. Says nothing. But the next month your pay goes to $10. $10 a month. $2.50 a week. You're still losing money. Still going backwards. But slower. You're saving nothing. Living week to week. But you have work. You have a skill that's developing. You have a place to show up every day. That's more than most men in San Francisco have. March 15th, 1850. You're measuring nails for a customer when the door opens and a boy runs in, maybe 12 years old, out of breath. Mr. Kearney. Mr. Kearney. Kearney looks up from the ledger. Calm down. What is it? Portsmouth Square. They're hanging someone. Kearney's expression doesn't change. Who? Don't know his name. They say he stole a horse. How long ago? Just starting now. Kearney looks at you. Close up. We're going. Sir, you need to see this. This is what law looks like in San Francisco. You lock the door, follow Kearney through the muddy streets toward Portsmouth Square. The square is maybe 200 feet on each side. Dirt. No grass, no trees, just open space where men gather. Today, 500 men have gathered. In the center of the square, someone has erected a wooden beam between 2 posts, a makeshift gallows. On the beam, a rope. Under the rope stands a man. He's maybe 40, rough clothes, hands tied behind his back, no blindfold. His face is pale. He's shaking. Next to him stands another man, tall, well-dressed. You recognize him. Sam Brannan, richest merchant in San Francisco, arrived in 1846 when this was still Mexican territory, made a fortune selling supplies to miners. Brannan addresses the crowd. This man, he shouts, was caught yesterday stealing a horse from the livery on Clay Street. Caught red-handed by 3 witnesses. The horse was worth $200. The punishment for horse theft in California is death. Does anyone dispute this? The crowd is silent. Then justice will be done. Brannan nods to 2 men. They put the rope around the thief's neck. The thief starts crying. Please, please, I got a family. You should have thought about that before you stole, Brannan says. The 2 men pull the rope. The beam is maybe 8 feet high. They haul the thief up. His feet kick. His face turns red, then purple. You watch. You can't look away. The whole thing takes maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes of kicking, of choking, of dying in front of 500 men. When the kicking stops, the crowd starts to disperse. Some men walk away quietly. Some are talking, arguing. Some look satisfied. You stand there, frozen. Kearney touches your elbow. Come on. You walk back to the store in silence. Inside, Kearney opens the daybook, picks up his pen, goes back to recording sales like nothing happened. You just stand there. Sir, you finally say, was there a trial? You just saw it. But a judge, a jury. We don't have those yet. City government was only incorporated 2 months ago. No courts, no real police, just the Committee of Vigilance. What's that? 200 merchants who decided they're tired of theft, tired of violence, tired of waiting for government to do its job. So they do it themselves. Is that legal? Kearney looks at you. Legal? This is San Francisco. Legal is whatever the strongest group says it is. Right now, that's Brannan and his committee. But the man didn't get to defend himself. 3 witnesses saw him steal the horse. What defense is there? Maybe he was desperate. Maybe he was desperate. So are 40,000 other men. They don't steal horses. Kearney sets down his pen. Listen to me. You want to survive here, you follow the rules. Simple rules. Don't steal, don't kill, don't start fires. If you follow those rules, you'll probably be fine. If you don't, you end up on a rope. That's the law. That's all the law there is. You nod slowly. Now get back to weight, Kearney says. Those nails won't measure themselves. You return to the counter, pick up the scoop, measure nails, but your hands are shaking. That night you can't sleep. You lie on your straw mattress. Listen to Wilhelm snore. Think about the man on the rope, his face turning purple, his feet kicking. 3 witnesses. Maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe they weren't. Maybe the man stole the horse because his family was starving. Maybe he stole it because he's a thief. You'll never know. Because there was no trial, no chance to hear his story, just a rope and a crowd and 3 minutes of dying. This is San Francisco. This is the city you're trying to survive in. Eventually exhaustion wins. You sleep, but you dream of ropes. April arrives, then May. The city keeps growing. Population estimates hit 40,000, maybe more. Nobody knows for sure. How do you count people who live in tents, who arrive one day and leave the next? Who die unmarked? The Committee of Vigilance hangs 2 more men, one for murder, one for arson. Both times Kearney makes you watch. This is the price, he says. This is what order costs. You stop arguing, stop questioning. Just watch, just learn. This is how the world works. This is how you survive. By May, your pay has increased to $15 a month, $3.75 a week. You're finally breaking even. Rent, food, nothing left over. But not going backwards. Kearney teaches you wholesale buying, shows you how to negotiate with ship captains, how to calculate volume discounts, how to read a manifest and know if someone's trying to cheat you. You're becoming something, not sure what, but something more than a day laborer hoping for 50 cents. May 4th, 1850. You're doing inventory, counting nails by weight. The scales are balanced. The daybook is current. Everything is in order. The church bells start ringing, not normal ringing, alarm ringing, fast, desperate. You look up. Through the window, you see smoke, not cook fire smoke, not chimney smoke, black smoke, rising in a column maybe 6 blocks away. Fire, Kearney says. He's already moving, grabbing account books, grabbing the cash drawer. Help me, move the merchandise to the back. You don't understand. Sir, fire spreads fast here. Everything's wood and canvas. If it reaches us, we've got maybe 10 minutes. Move. You start moving. Sacks of flour, tools, rope, nails, everything valuable goes to the back room. The back room is brick, part brick, might survive if the front burns. Outside, men are running. Some toward the fire, some away, shouting, screaming. You can smell it now. Wood burning, paint, tar. The smell gets stronger every minute. Kearney locks the front door. That's all we can do. Now we wait. You stand in the back room. Watch through the small window. The smoke is getting thicker. Closer. You can see flames now. Orange. 30 feet high. How often does this happen, you ask? This is the 3rd major fire since I got here. First one was June 49. Second was December. Now this. City burns. City rebuilds. That's the cycle. The flames get closer. 2 blocks away, 1 block. Men are forming bucket brigades, passing water from the bay. It's useless. Might as well spit on a forest fire. But they try anyway. The fire reaches the building next to Kearney's. A boarding house. 3 stories. Wood frame. It goes up like it's soaked in kerosene. The heat is incredible. You can feel it through the brick wall, like standing near an oven. Your face feels sunburned. We should run, you say. Not yet. Sir, we're going to die. Not yet. The flames reach Kearney's front wall. You watch through the window. Watch the wood siding start to char, start to smoke. Then the wind shifts. Just like that. The wind shifts, blows from the east instead of the west, pushes the fire away from Montgomery Street, toward the waterfront. The front wall of Kearney's stops smoking. The flames move on, consume other buildings, other businesses, but not this one. You stand there, breathing hard, heart hammering. Luck, Kearney says quietly. Just luck. But you both know it's more than luck. It's location. It's brick buildings nearby that don't burn as fast. It's wind direction. It's 1,000 things that could have gone differently. By evening, the fire is out, 22 blocks destroyed, $3 million in property gone, estimates of 200 buildings burned to the ground. Kearney's general goods still standing. That night, you walk back to your tent. The tent is fine. You're on the wrong side of town. The fire didn't reach here. Wilhelm is heating beans. Looks up when you approach. Heard about fire, he says. Store okay. Store's okay. You okay. You think about that. Are you okay? You almost died today. Watched buildings burn, felt heat that could have killed you, made a decision to stay when every instinct said run. Yeah, you say. I'm okay. Wilhelm nods. Hands you beans. You eat. Go into the tent. Lie down. And realize something. You stayed. When the fire came. When you could have run, you stayed. Because Kearney stayed. Because someone had to protect what you'd built. The inventory. The ledgers. The careful accounting of 3 months' work. You stayed. That means something. You're not sure what, but something. Outside, the city is already rebuilding, already hammering, already starting over. That's San Francisco. It burns, it builds, it burns again. And you're part of it now. You close your eyes. Sleep comes. Earned sleep. The sleep of someone who showed up, who did the work, who stayed when it mattered. Tomorrow the count continues. June 10th, 1850, 1 year. Almost exactly 1 year since gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill. 1 year since this city exploded from 500 people to 40,000. You've been here 7 months now. 7 months of counting, measuring, learning. The city is different already. More brick buildings going up. The Committee of Vigilance has hanged 5 men since March. Crime is still rampant, but maybe slightly less so. Or maybe you're just numb to it. You're different too. Your pay is $15 a month now. You're breaking even. Not saving, but not losing ground either. You've mastered the scales, can balance them without looking, can calculate gold weight faster than most miners can speak. Kearney trusts you with more, lets you handle wholesale negotiations, lets you manage the daybook when he's meeting suppliers. You're not just a clerk anymore. You're something more. Not quite a partner, but more than hired help. You're building something, slowly, carefully, the way your father built stone walls. 1 block at a time, making sure everything is level before adding the next piece. That evening after closing, you're sweeping the floor when you hear voices from the back room. Kearney is there, and someone else. A man. The conversation is quiet but intense. You shouldn't listen. You know you shouldn't, but you do. Brennan the Saint. Lewis, debts aren't going away, the man says. Kearney's voice is cold. I know that. Then when are you going to pay? When I have the money, not before, Basim. It's been 2 years. The people you owe, they're not patient men. Then they should have thought about that before they loaned money to a failed merchant. You sign notes, legal notes. In Missouri, this is California, different jurisdiction, different rules. Rules don't change what's right. No, but they change what's enforceable. Footsteps, the back door opening, closing. You keep sweeping, pretend you heard nothing, but you heard everything. Kearney fled debts, came to California to escape them. Built this business from money that maybe wasn't entirely his to begin with. Does that change anything? Does it matter? You don't know. You finish sweeping. Lock up. Walk home. That night you lie in your tent thinking about it. Kearney teaches you to be precise, to be honest, to keep accurate books, to never cheat a customer. But he's running from debts, from obligations. Is that different? Or is that just survival? You're 23 years old. You don't have answers to questions like this. You just have the work, the scales, the counting. Tomorrow you'll wake up. You'll go to Kearney's. You'll balance the scales. You'll measure. You'll record, because that's what you do. And maybe Kearney's past doesn't matter. Maybe what matters is what he's teaching you, what he's building now. Or maybe it all matters, past and present, debts and work, truth and survival. You don't know. You fall asleep still thinking about it. Years later, you'll learn that Silas Kearney paid back every penny he owed in St. Louis, paid it back by 1853 with interest, made it right even though he didn't have to. But that night in June 1850, you don't know that yet. You just hear voices in the dark and wonder who your mentor really is. Sleep comes eventually. And with it, dreams of scales that almost balance but never quite settle. The city doesn't pause to mourn. By the morning after, the firemen are already clearing rubble, already hauling charred timber to the bay, already measuring new foundations, already hammering. 22 blocks gone. $3 million in smoke and ash. And by sunrise, the rebuilding has begun. You walk to Kearney's at dawn, the front wall is scorched black, the paint is blistered, but the structure stands. The door still locks, the windows miraculously didn't shatter. Inside, Kearney is already working, moving merchandise back from the rear room, sweeping ash from the floor. The daybook is open. He's making entries like it's any other morning. Prices doubled overnight, he says without looking up. Lumber was $40 per 1,000 board feet yesterday. Today it's 80. Nails were 12 cents a pound, now 25. Canvas sold out everywhere. You start helping, moving flour sacks, organizing tools. What do we do, you ask? We sell. Men need to rebuild. They'll pay anything. This is when we make money. And he's right. For 2 weeks straight, you work 16-hour days. The store is packed from opening to close. Miners buying tools to go back to the diggings. Merchants buying nails to rebuild their shops. Contractors buying everything in bulk. You sell out of nails by day 3, rope by day 5, lumber by day 7. Every morning, new shipments arrive. Teamsters hauling goods from the wharves. Rodrigo makes 4 trips a day instead of 1, charges $10 per load. Kearney pays without negotiating. Time matters more than money right now. You're weighing gold dust so frequently, your hands develop calluses from handling the brass weights. The scales stay balanced. The daybook stays current, but barely. You skip lunch most days. Just work through, eat whatever you can grab. A piece of bread, some dried beef, whatever doesn't require stopping. Wilhelm sees you one evening. You're walking back to the tent after dark, after 14 hours at the store. You look dead, he says, feel dead. But store good. Store's very good. Then is worth it. You think about that. Is it worth it? You're exhausted, your back aches, your feet are swollen, you're eating 1 meal a day, sleeping 5 hours a night. But Kearney's is making money, real money, $4,000 in sales over 2 weeks. $2,000 in profit, you're cut nothing. You're still salary, $15 a month. But you're learning. Learning wholesale economics, learning crisis pricing, learning that fortunes get made in moments of chaos. Your father never had this opportunity. He cut stone for 40 years at steady wages, good wages, fair wages. But steady, never a chance to leap ahead. You're seeing that chance now, watching it happen, not participating in the profits yet, but watching, learning. May becomes June. The city stabilizes. Prices drop back to near normal. The rebuilding continues, but the frenzy ends. Life returns to its usual rhythm of mud and hope and slow accumulation. Kearney calls you to the back room one evening. Sit, he says. There's only one chair, a wooden crate. You sit. Kearney stays standing. He's holding the daybook. You worked hard during the fire. Didn't complain, didn't steal. I've been watching. You wait. I'm raising you to $25 a month. $25 a month, $6.25 a week. After rent and food, you'll have maybe $1 left over. Maybe. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me. You earned it. But that's not why I called you in here. He opens the daybook, shows you the numbers, sales, cash, profit margins. I'm expanding, taking over the shop next door. It's available since the owner left for the mines. Twice the space, more inventory. I'll need help managing it. Yes, sir. Whatever you need. I need someone who understands wholesale, someone who can negotiate with suppliers, someone who can manage accounts. That's not a clerk position. That's something else. You feel your pulse quicken. What is it? I don't have a name for it yet. Senior clerk, maybe. Manager, I don't know. Point is, the job pays $30 a month. But it comes with real responsibility. Ordering inventory, managing the books, hiring day workers when we need them, making decisions when I'm not here. You want it. $30 a month, $7.50 a week. After expenses, you'd have $2 left over. $2 a week to save. Yes, sir, I want it. Kearney nods. Start tomorrow. And Nathaniel, it's the first time he's used your first name. Sir, don't make me regret this. That night, you lie in your tent and do the math. $30 a month, $7.50 a week, minus $3.50 for rent, minus maybe $4 for food if you're careful. Leaves you with nothing. Still breaking even. Wait, you check again. $7.50 minus $3.50 is $4. Minus $4 for food is $0. You're still not saving. You're just surviving at a higher level. Unless you move. Find cheaper rent or eat less or find a second source of income. You make a note to investigate boarding houses tomorrow. Maybe a monthly rate instead of nightly. That could save $1 a week. For now, you sleep. and dream of columns of numbers that might someday add up to something more than zero. June, July, August. Summer in San Francisco is not what you expected. In Boston, summer meant heat, humidity, shirt sticking to your back. Here, summer means fog every single day. The fog rolls in at night, burns off by 10 in the morning, returns by 6 in the evening, and cold. Summer is cold. You bought a coat. A real wool coat cost you $3. A month ago, you would have thought that was insane, spending $3 on a coat when you're barely surviving. But you need it. The fog gets into your bones, makes your fingers stiff, makes your joints ache. The coat helps. July 15th, 1850. You're walking past a boarding house on Clay Street, 2 stories, wood frame, better than most. A sign out front, Hartwell Boarding House, rooms available. You stop, ask inside about rates. The woman who answers is maybe 27, 28, dark hair pulled back, clean dress. No wedding ring, but a mark on her finger where one used to be. Eleanor Hartwell, she says, you're looking for a room. Depends on the price. $2 a night or $8 for the month if you pay up front. You do the math, $8 a month versus $15 for your half of the tent. That saves you $7 a month, almost $2 a week. What do I get for $8? A room, 8 by 10 feet, bed, wash basin, fresh water every morning. Breakfast included at 6. Dinner available for an extra $1.50 a week if you want it. Rules. No drinking, no gambling, no bringing women back, no noise after 9. You break any rule once I give you warning. Twice you're out, no refunds. I don't drink, don't gamble, don't know any women, and I work until 6 most days. I'll be too tired for noise. Eleanor studies you. What do you do? Clerk at Kearney's General Goods. I know Kearney. He's fair. If he hired you, you're probably honest. She holds out her hand. $8, first month. You can move in today. You count out the money, your entire savings. 8 silver dollars. Room 7, top of the stairs. Here's your key. The key is brass, heavy, substantial. You move your things that afternoon. 1 crate, 1 burlap sack of belongings, takes you 15 minutes. Room 7 is the finest place you've lived since leaving Boston. A real bed, a real mattress. Not straw, actual cotton batting, springs that squeak a little but support your weight. A wash basin. Ceramic, not tin. Water is already there. Clean water, clear. A mirror on the wall, small. But you can see your whole face. Haven't seen your whole face in 8 months. You look older, thinner. There are lines around your eyes that weren't there when you left Boston. Your hair needs cutting. Your beard needs trimming. But you're still you, still Nathaniel Collier, still alive, still here. That night, you sleep in a real bed for the first time in 8 months. The mattress is soft, the blanket is clean, the room is quiet. You lie there thinking about the progression. Tent to room, straw to cotton, 50 cents a night to $8 a month. Small steps. But steps, you're building something. Slowly, so slowly you can barely measure it day to day. But it's happening. Sleep comes easy that night, really easy. The sleep of someone who's warm, dry, safe, at least for now. August 10th, 1850. You're at the counter, measuring coffee for a customer. 1 pound at 16 cents. The scales are balanced. The customer pays in silver. 2 dimes, you make change. The door opens. A man walks in, well-dressed, maybe 35 years old. Good boots, clean shirt, hat that's not covered in mud. Marcus Halbrook, you've heard the name. Everyone has. Halbrook runs supply operations for the mining camps up in Sacramento. Buys wholesale in San Francisco. Sells retail in the camps at huge markup. He's rich, or on his way to rich. He walks directly to you. You're Nathaniel. Yes, sir. Kearney speaks well of you, says you understand wholesale economics. I'm learning, sir. I need boots, 50 pairs, good leather, sizes 7 through 12. What's your price? You think fast. Retail price for good boots is $8 a pair. Kearney's cost is $5 wholesale. 50 pairs at $5 is $250 in cost. At 8 retail, that's $400 in revenue, $150 profit. But wholesale pricing is different. You need to offer less than retail, but more than cost. $6 a pair, you say, $300 total for 50 pairs. Halbrook studies you. That's retail pricing. No, sir. Retail is 8. I'm offering wholesale at 6. I can get boots in Sacramento for 7. Then you're paying retail in Sacramento. These are San Francisco prices, better quality. Shipped direct from Boston. I can show you the manifest. Halbrook considers. $5.50 a pair. You hesitate. Look toward the back room where Kearney is working on accounts. Let me check with Mr. Kearney. No, I'm checking with you. Kearney said you handle wholesale. Do you or don't you? This is a test. You know it's a test. $5.50 a pair is $275 total. Cost is $250. Profit is $25. $25 profit on one transaction. That's almost a month of your salary. But it's also low margin. Only 10%. Kearney usually aims for 30 to 50%. Still, $25. And Halbrook is a repeat customer. He'll come back if you treat him fairly. $5.50, you say, but I need payment up front, and you arrange your own transport. Done. Halbrook pulls out a leather wallet, counts out gold coins. Eagles, $20 gold pieces. 13 eagles plus $15 in smaller coins. You weigh the gold to verify. It's good. You record the sale in the daybook. I'll have the boots ready tomorrow morning, you say. You can pick them up, or I can have them delivered to the wharves for an additional $2. I'll pick them up. Halbrook leaves. You stand there, holding $275 in gold. More money than you've ever touched at once. Kearney comes out from the back room. I heard, he says. I hope I did right. What's our cost on those boots? $5 a pair, $250 total. And you sold at $5.50. Yes, sir. $25 profit. Kearney thinks. Low margin, but Halbrook's good for repeat business. And $25 is $25. He pauses. You could have come and asked me. He wanted to deal with me. And you made the call. Good. That's what managers do. They make calls. Kearney returns to the back room. You exhale. Realize you were holding your breath. You just made a business decision. A real one. And it worked. That night, Eleanor serves dinner at the boarding house. 12 tenants, all men, clerks, laborers, craftsmen. The meal is simple. Chicken, potatoes, bread. Costs extra $1.50 a week, but you decided to spend it. You need the food, need the energy. Eleanor sits at the head of the table, presides, makes sure everyone behaves. No fighting, no stealing, no crude talk. After dinner, you help clear dishes. You don't have to do that, Eleanor says. I know, but my mother taught me manners. Where is your mother? Boston with my father. Do they know you're all right? I write sometimes. Eleanor washes. You dry. It's companionable, quiet. The first real conversation you've had with someone other than Kearney or Wilhelm in months. What did your husband do? You ask. Mining, up near Sacramento. She's quiet for a moment. Died 2 years ago. Accident. Cave-in. I'm sorry. Don't be. He chose it. Knew the risks. She hands you another plate. After he died, I had two choices. Go back to Philadelphia or stay here. I stayed. Bought this boarding house with the insurance money. Made a life. Do you regret it? Some days, most days, no. I'm my own boss. I make my own rules. Back east, I'd be living with my brother. Dependent. Here I'm independent. You understand that. Independence. The thing you came to California for. The thing you're slowly, painfully building. Thank you for dinner, you say. You're welcome. And Nathaniel, yes. If you ever need anything, business advice, a loan, whatever, you ask. You're a good tenant. I help good tenants. You nod. File that away. Might matter someday. That night, you add $5 to your hidden stash. $23 now. Saved over 3 months of living at the boarding house and eating less. You're building. Slowly. But building. Tomorrow, the count continues. September, October, November. The city continues to grow. Population estimates hit 50,000 now. Maybe 60,000. The numbers are meaningless. Too big to comprehend. Too fluid to count. More ships arrive every week. Clippers from New York, cargo vessels from China, traders from Chile, all bringing people, all bringing goods, all feeding the machine. You fall into a new rhythm, wake at 5:30, wash in fresh water, dress in clothes that are cleaner than they've been in months because Eleanor has a Chinese woman who does laundry for the boarding house. Breakfast at 6, usually porridge. Sometimes eggs if Eleanor got a good price at the market. Coffee. Real coffee. Hot and strong. Walk to Kearney's by 6:30. Open the store. Check inventory. Balance the scales. Update the daybook. Kearney arrives at 7. He's slowly trusting you with more. Ordering from suppliers. Negotiating transport. managing the expansion into the second shop. You hire day workers when needed, young men mostly, fresh off ships, desperate for any work. You pay them $1 a day to move freight, to organize shelves, to sweep floors. You remember being that desperate, remember standing at the wharves hoping for 50 cents. That was 11 months ago. Feels like 11 years. By November, you've saved $47. $47 hidden in your room, in a leather pouch under the floorboard beneath your bed. It's more money than your father ever had at one time. You're almost certain of that. He earned steady wages, spent them on family, on rent, on food, on tools. Never accumulated. You're accumulating. Slowly, painfully slowly, but accumulating. November 15th, 1850. A ship arrives from Boston. The news travels fast through the merchant community. Boston ship means Boston goods, means letters from home. You go to the post office during lunch, wait in line for 40 minutes. Men pushing, shoving, everyone desperate for news from families they haven't seen in months, years. Your name is called. Collier Nathaniel Collier. You push forward. The postal clerk hands you a letter. Single sheet, folded, sealed with wax. You recognize your mother's handwriting. You don't open it there. Too many people, too much noise. You walk back to Kearney's, go to the back room, sit on a crate, break the seal. The letter is dated July 20th, 1850, 4 months ago, written in your mother's careful script. Dear Nathaniel, I hope this letter finds you well. Your father's workshop burned down in June. He is alive, but everything is lost. The tools, the stone, the work in progress, all of it. He has been trying to rebuild, but he needs capital. $50 would allow him to buy the basic tools, to start taking jobs again. I know you went to California to make your fortune. I do not know if you have found it, but if you have any money, your father needs it now. Please write back. Let us know you are alive. Your loving mother. You read it twice, 3 times. Your father's workshop burned. Everything lost. Needs $50. You have $47 saved. You could send it, all of it. Would take 4 months to reach Boston, but it would help. Might save your father's business, might save his livelihood. Or you could keep it, keep building, keep accumulating, send money later when you have more. You sit there for a long time. Kearney comes to the back room, sees you holding the letter. Bad news, he asks. My father's workshop burned. He needs money. How much? $50. Kearney nods slowly. What are you going to do? I don't know. How much do you have saved? You hesitate, then answer honestly. $47. So you could send it. Yes, but you're thinking about keeping it. I'm thinking if I send it, I'm back to nothing, starting over. And what if there's another emergency? What if he needs money again? I can't keep saving and sending. Saving and sending. I'll never get ahead. Kearney sits on another crate. Your father, what does he do? Stonecutter was before the fire. Good trade, honest work. Yes, sir. Did he ever get ahead, ever accumulate real capital? You think about it. No, he worked steady, earned steady, spent what he earned, supported the family, but never got ahead. And now he's 50-something years old and starting over with nothing. Yes. So here's the question. Do you want to be him in 30 years? Working until you can't work anymore, one disaster away from ruin. You don't answer. I'm not telling you what to do, Kearney says, but I will tell you this. I came to California with $200. I've sent nothing back to my family in St. Louis, not a penny. Because if I send it back, I'm still in St. Louis, still working for someone else, still trapped. Here I'm building something, and something that might last, something that might matter. He stands. Your father made his choices. He chose steady work, chose family, chose safety. Those are good choices, honorable choices, but they're his choices, not yours. You're allowed to make different ones. He leaves. You sit there holding the letter. That night you write back. Dear mother, I am alive. I am working in San Francisco as a merchant clerk. I am saving money, but I do not have $50 yet. I am sorry about father's workshop. I know this is hard, but I cannot send money right now. I need it here. I am building something. Please tell father I am sorry. Tell him I will send money when I can, but not yet. I hope you understand. Your loving son, Nathaniel. You seal the letter, address it. It will take 4 months to reach Boston. By the time your mother reads it, by the time she tells your father, you'll be a different person. The city will be different. Everything will be different. You put the letter in your coat. Tomorrow you'll post it. Tonight you lie in your bed, in your room with walls, in the boarding house you pay for with money you earn, and you think about choices. Your father chose family, chose sacrifice, chose steady work and honorable poverty. You're choosing something else. You're not sure if it's right, not sure if it's honorable, but it's yours. Sleep comes eventually, but it doesn't feel earned tonight. It feels stolen. December 1850. Winter settles over San Francisco, not snow. It never snows here. But rain, constant rain. The mud gets so deep that Montgomery Street becomes impassable some days. Kearney's stays open. You wade through knee-deep mud to get there. Arrive soaked. Dry by the stove. Work in damp clothes all day. Business slows. Miners don't come to the city in winter. They hunker down in the camps. Wait for spring. The slower pace gives you time to learn other parts of the business. You study the ledgers. Learn to track seasonal patterns. Learn which goods sell in winter versus summer. Blankets sell in winter. Wool. Heavy cotton. You order extra. Price them at $2 each, retail. Cost is $1.20 wholesale. 80 cents profit per blanket. You sell 400 blankets between December and February. $320 profit. Your cut, still nothing. Your salary. But Kearney notices. Good call on the blankets, he says, about most of the other stores ran out by January. We sold through the whole season. Thank you, sir. You're thinking ahead. That's good. That's how you build a business, not just reacting. Planning. December 24th, 1850. Christmas Eve. You've almost forgotten. In San Francisco, days blur together. Work days, rest days. They're all the same. But Eleanor reminds you, she's decorating the boarding house. Pine branches over the doorway. Candles in the windows. We'll have a proper Christmas dinner tomorrow, she says. Roast chicken, potatoes, anyone who wants to join. You're the only one who joins. The other boarders are out, working, gambling, drinking, doing whatever men do on Christmas in a city that never stops. Eleanor cooks. You help. Peel potatoes, set the table. 2 places. The meal is simple. Chicken that's a little dry, potatoes that are undercooked. But it's hot, it's shared, it's human. Do you have family back east? Eleanor asks. Boston, mother and father. Do they know you're all right? I write sometimes, but not often. No, Eleanor cuts her chicken carefully. My husband used to say California changes people, makes them forget where they came from. Is that what happened to him? No, he remembered. He wanted more than remembering. He wanted to build something new, something that didn't exist back in Philadelphia. She pauses. He died trying. I'm sorry. Don't be. He died doing what he chose. That's more than most people get. You eat in silence for a while. You're building something, Eleanor says. I can see it. You're different from the other men here. More focused, more deliberate. I'm just working. No, you're planning. There's a difference. She sets down her fork. Be careful, Nathaniel. This city rewards planning, but it also punishes it. Fire doesn't care about your plans. Disease doesn't care. Neither do the men with ropes in Portsmouth Square. I'm careful. I hope so. After dinner, you help clean, wash dishes, dry them, put them away. Thank you for dinner, you say. Merry Christmas, Nathaniel. Merry Christmas. You go to your room, lie on your bed, think about your father, about whether he had Christmas dinner, about whether the workshop is rebuilt yet, about whether he hates you for not sending money. You think about Eleanor's husband, died building something new. You think about the man on the rope in Portsmouth Square, died stealing something he probably needed. You think about all the ways to die in this city and all the ways to live. Eventually you sleep. Tomorrow is just another day of counting, measuring, building, one careful number at a time. January 1851. You're at the counter when the bells start. Not church bells, alarm bells, fire bells. The sound that makes every person in San Francisco freeze. You look out the window, smoke rising, 3 blocks south, maybe 4. Not again, Kearney says. He's already moving, grabbing the cash drawer, grabbing the ledgers or the reserves. Help me move the inventory. You've done this before. Last May. You know the drill. Most valuable items go to the back room, the brick room. Everything else stays. Takes too long to move. You work fast. Gold dust, silver coins, the best tools, the coffee and tobacco. Into the back room. The smoke is getting thicker. Closer. That's enough, Kearney says. Now we wait. You stand in the back room, watch through the small window. The fire is spreading fast, pushed by wind from the bay, eating through the wooden buildings like they're made of paper. 2 blocks away, 1 block, the heat builds. You can feel it through the brick. Sweat runs down your face, your back. If it reaches us, you start. We run, but not before. The building next door catches. You watch it happen. Flames licking up the siding, the wood blackening, blistering, then igniting. The roar is incredible. Like standing next to a waterfall, like standing inside a storm. And then like last time, the wind shifts. The flames turn, pushed back toward the waterfront, away from Montgomery Street. Kearney survives again. By evening, the damage is assessed. 18 blocks this time. Not as bad as May, but bad enough. 2 million in property, at least 100 buildings. You walk outside, the air is thick with smoke and ash. Men are already sorting through rubble, looking for anything salvageable. You see a man sitting on the remains of a wall, just sitting, staring at nothing. His store is gone, everything gone. He's not crying, not moving, just sitting. You recognize him. A merchant, sold hardware 2 blocks down, competed with Kearney's, did good business. Now he has nothing. You walk back inside, help Kearney move inventory back to the main room, reset the store, prepare for tomorrow, because tomorrow the prices will spike again. The desperate will pay anything, and Kearney's has inventory. You're learning. Fire is disaster for some people, opportunity for others. The difference is preparation, location, luck, mostly luck. That night, you add another $5 to your hidden stash. $52 now. You're building, slowly, carefully, hoping the fire doesn't come for you next. February 1851. Crime is getting worse. You hear about it constantly. Robberies, assaults, murder. The Committee of Vigilance hangs men every few weeks, but it doesn't slow down. If anything, it's getting worse. The city is growing too fast. Infrastructure can't keep up. Police force is maybe 20 men for 60,000 people. It's a joke. February 14th, 1851. You're closing the store, 6 in the evening. Kearney left an hour ago. Trust you to close now. Lock up, count the cash, record the day's total. You're locking the door when someone speaks behind you. Evening, friend. You turn. 3 men, standing too close. One of them is tall, maybe 6 feet, rough clothes, Australian accent. Sydney Ducks. You've heard about them, convicts, sent to Australia by the British, came to California for gold, stayed for easier money. Stores closed, you say? We're not customers, the tall one says. His name is Jack Dalton. You'll learn that later. Right now, he's just a threat. Then move along. Unfriendly, we're just here to talk to your boss, Mr. Kearney. He's not here. Then you'll do. You manage this place, yeah. I work here. Same thing. Dalton steps closer. Here's the situation. This is a dangerous city. Lots of fires, lots of theft, lots of accidents. We can help with that. We don't need help. Sure you do. Everyone needs help. We'll keep an eye on the place. Make sure nothing bad happens. Very reasonable price. $10 a week. $10 a week, that's $40 a month. Half of what Kearney probably clears in profit during a slow month. That's extortion, you say. That's insurance, Dalton says. Your choice. Pay 10 a week, or pay a lot more when something unfortunate happens. He smiles, missing a tooth on the left side, scar running down his right cheek. Think about it. We'll be back Monday for your answer. They walk away. You stand there, heart pounding, hands shaking as you finish locking the door. You don't tell Kearney that night. Don't tell anyone. Just go back to your room, lie awake thinking about it. $10 a week, $40 a month, almost $500 a year. Or risk fire, theft, violence. What would your father do? Your father would report it to the police. Your father would stand on principle. Your father would refuse to be extorted. Your father would probably end up ruined. This isn't Boston. This isn't a city with laws that work. This is San Francisco. You fall asleep still thinking about it. Monday comes too fast. Dalton returns at 6, same time, same smile. Made a decision, he asks. I need to talk to Mr. Kearney. You do that, but know this, we're not patient men. You've got until Wednesday. Then the price goes to 15. They leave. You tell Kearney Tuesday morning. He's doing inventory. You explain the whole thing. Dalton, the threats, the deadline. Kearney listens without interrupting. When you finish, he's quiet for a long moment. They hit Johnson's Hardware last month, he finally says. He refused to pay. His store burned down a week later. Could have been accident, could have been arson. No way to prove it. What do? We pay. Sir, we pay. $10 a week. We record it in the books as security expense. We keep our heads down. We don't make enemies we can't handle. But that's survival. This isn't about right and wrong. This is about staying in business. We pay. Wednesday comes. Dalton arrives at 6. You hand him $10, gold coins. He counts them, pockets them. Smart choice, he says. We'll be back next Monday. Same time. He leaves. You mark it in the daybook. Security $10. Kearney sees the entry, nods. This is what law looks like here, he says. The strong take from the weak. The committee hangs thieves in public. The Sydney Ducks extort in private. And we pay whoever has the power. That's the system. Is there a better way? Not yet. Maybe someday, but not yet. You go back to work, weighing, measuring, counting. The numbers still balance. The scales are still precise. But something feels different now, less clean, less clear. You're not just building a business. You're paying tribute to criminals, participating in a system you hate. But you're surviving, and survival is all that matters. Isn't it that night you write in a journal you started keeping? Small notebook, hidden with your money. February 19th, 1851. Paid extortion for the first time. $10 to Jack Dalton and the Sydney Ducks. Kearney says this is how it works here. I don't like it, but I understand it. My father would hate this, would say it's dishonorable, would say real men don't pay criminals. But my father is in Boston rebuilding a workshop at 53 years old with nothing. And I'm here, building something, even if it means paying tribute to men I despise. I don't know if that makes me smart or just corrupted. Probably both. You close the notebook, hide it under the floorboard with your money. $62 now, built on work, on careful counting, on survival, and on $10 weekly payments to men with ropes and matches. You lie in bed. Tomorrow the count continues. Always continues. Whether you're proud of it or not, sleep comes. But it doesn't feel earned anymore. It feels purchased. And that's different. That's something your father would never understand. Spring arrives in San Francisco the way it always does. Not with warmth, not with flowers, just with slightly less fog, slightly less rain. Days that stretch a few minutes longer. March, April, May. The extortion continues. Every Monday, 6 in the evening, Dalton arrives. You hand him $10, he leaves. You mark it in the daybook. Security $10. Kearney never comments, just nods when he sees the entry. This is normal now, part of doing business. Like paying rent, like paying for inventory. You hate it. Hate the smile on Dalton's face. Hate the feeling of handing over money to a man who produces nothing, creates nothing, just takes. But you do it because the alternative is worse. May 20th, 1851. You're weighing coffee for a customer when Kearney calls you to the back room. Sit, he says. You sit on the familiar crate. Kearney stays standing. He's holding the ledger, the main accounting book, the one that tracks everything. You've been working for me 18 months, he says. Yes, sir. It started at $5 a month, now making 30. That's a 600% increase. Yes, sir. Most men don't last 6 months here. They go to the mines, they go home, they die. You've lasted 18 months and you've gotten better every month. He opens the ledger, shows you numbers, sales figures, profit margins, cost analysis. The business is doing well, better than well. Even with the extortion, we're clearing $400 a month profit, sometimes $500. The expansion into the second shop worked. The wholesale accounts are growing. We're positioned well. You wait. There's more coming. You can feel it. I need a partner, Kearney says. Not an employee, a partner. Your heart starts beating faster. Someone who has skin in the game. Someone who will care about profit and loss because it's their profit and loss. Someone who can make decisions when I'm not here. Someone who can grow this business beyond what I can do alone. He closes the ledger. $1,000, 10% ownership, 5-year commitment. You can't pull your money out during that time. If the business fails, you lose everything. If it succeeds, you become a wealthy man. $1,000, you have $62 saved. I don't have $1,000, you say quietly. I know, but you can save it. You're making 30 a month, spending maybe 25. That's 5 a month. 20 months at that rate. Or you find other ways to make money. Side work, loans, however you want to do it. When do you need an answer? You've got until January 1st. That's 8 months. Save $1,000 in 8 months. If you can do it, the partnership is yours. He stands. Think about it. But don't think too long. I've got 3 other men who jump at this offer. That night, you do the math. 8 months, 35 weeks. $1,000 divided by 35 weeks. $28.50 per week. You make $750 a week. Spend maybe $6. Save $150 if you're careful. $150 times 35 weeks equals $52.50. Add your current $62, that's $114.50. Not even close. You need to make almost $900 more in 8 months. $26 a week on top of everything else. It's impossible unless you think about side work. Loading cargo at the wharves pays $1 a day. You could work Sundays. That's $430 a month. $1720 total over 8 months. Still not enough. You could borrow. But from who? You don't know anyone with that kind of money. Don't know anyone who'd lend it to someone like you. You could steal. That thought comes again. Darker this time. More tempting. You could skim from the cash drawer. Small amounts. $2 here, $3 there. Over 8 months it would add up. You'd be stealing from Kearney. The man who gave you a job when you had nothing. The man who taught you a trade. The man offering you partnership. But you'd get the $1,000. You lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, think about choices. Your father never had choices like this. Never had the opportunity to become a partner in anything. Just worked, got paid, survived. Now you have a choice, and every option feels wrong. Work yourself to death for 8 months and still come up short. Borrow money you can't repay if things go wrong. Or steal. You don't sleep that night. Just lie there doing math, trying to find a way that adds up to 1,000. The numbers don't cooperate. June, July, August. You work Sundays, loading cargo at the wharves. $1 a day. Sometimes $1.50 if the work is hard and the foreman likes you. Your back hurts constantly now. You're working 13 days straight. No rest day, no time to recover. Eleanor notices. You look exhausted, she says one morning at breakfast. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're working yourself sick. I need the money. For what? You don't answer? Don't want to explain. Don't want to say it out loud because saying it makes it real, and real means you might fail. By August, you've saved $320. $320 out of 1,000. Less than a third of the way there. With 5 months left. The math is getting worse, not better. You need 680 more, 5 months. 4.3 weeks per month. 21.5 weeks. 680 divided by 21.5 equals $31.60 per week. You're making maybe 10 a week from all sources combined. Work, side work, skipping meals to save money on food. You need to triple your income in 5 months. It's not going to happen. You sit in your room, count the money again. $320. More money than you've ever had, more than your father probably accumulated in his entire life. But not enough, not nearly enough. September 15th, 1851. You're at the boarding house, evening, about to go to bed after another Sunday loading cargo. There's a knock at your door. You open it. Wilhelm, your old tent mate. You haven't seen him in months, not since you moved to the boarding house. Wilhelm, what are you doing here? Can I come in? Of course, Wilhelm enters. He looks terrible, thin. His face is gray. He's sweating even though the evening is cold. Are you sick? You ask. Dysentery. 3 days now. You need a doctor. No money for doctor. He sits on your bed, breathing hard. I came to say goodbye. You're going back to Munich. I'm going to cemetery. Don't talk like that. You'll be fine. No, Wilhelm shakes his head. I see it before. 3 days dysentery, then death. Maybe 2 more days. Maybe 3, but death coming. You don't know what to say. Wilhelm pulls out a small leather pouch from his coat. This is for you. I don't want, take it. You are only friend I have here. You share tent. You share fire. You never steal from me. That matters. He presses the pouch into your hand. It's heavy. What is this? Gold dust. $500 worth. Maybe little more. You stare at the pouch. Where did you get this? I work, I save. Every dollar I make, I save. I think maybe I go home rich. Maybe I buy farm in Bavaria. Maybe I marry. He coughs hard. But now I die in San Francisco. All the saving for nothing. Wilhelm, I can't take this. You can. You will. I see you working. I see you building something. You use it better than I did, better than dying with it in boarding house. Promise me. I promise. Wilhelm stands, unsteady. Goodbye, Nathaniel. You are a good man. Don't let this city take that. He leaves. You sit there holding the pouch. $500. You want to run after him, want to get him to a doctor, want to save him. But you know dysentery. You've seen it. Wilhelm is right. 3 days in, he's already dead. Just doesn't know it yet. You open the pouch, pour the gold dust onto your table. It glimmers in the lamplight. $500. Plus your $320. $820 total. You need $1,000. You're $180 short, with less than 4 months left. It's possible now, actually possible. You close the pouch, put it with your other money under the floorboard. That night, you can't sleep, can't stop thinking about Wilhelm, about how he worked and saved and died with nothing, about how his $500 of fortune meant nothing in the end, about how you're using his death to buy your future. September 18th, 1851, 3 days after Wilhelm visited, the timeline he predicted. You hear the news. Wilhelm Adler died at the German boarding house on Pacific Street. No family, no ceremony. Buried in the city cemetery with a wooden marker that will rot away in 2 years. You attend the burial on a gray September afternoon. You're the only one there besides the gravedigger. You stand at the edge of the hole. Watch them lower Wilhelm into the ground. He's wrapped in canvas. No coffin. Coffins cost money, and Wilhelm had no money. Except he did. He had $500, but he gave it away. You stand there for a long time after the gravedigger leaves. I'll use it better, you say to the dirt, to the canvas-wrapped body, to the ghost of a German man who shared his beans. I promise. The wind carries your words away. You walk back to the boarding house. Count your money again. 820, 180 to go, built on work, on sacrifice, on luck, and on a dead man's final gift. October, November, December. You work harder than you've ever worked. Every day at Kearney's, every Sunday at the wharves. Some nights you do bookkeeping for other merchants. $1 here, $2 there. You eat 1 meal a day, sometimes less. Your clothes hang loose. Your face is gaunt. Eleanor asks if you're sick. You tell her you're fine. You're not fine. You're exhausted, starving, running on fumes, but the number keeps growing. $850, $880, $900. By mid-December, you have $940. 60 short. 2 weeks until January 1st. You need $30 a week for 2 weeks. You're so close you can taste it. So close it hurts. December 18th, 1851. You're at Kearney's, closing the store, counting the cash drawer, recording the day's sales. You're holding $300 in gold coins. More than enough to reach 1,000. Just take 60. 60 out of 300. Kearney would never notice. The books would balance if you were careful. Adjusted a few entries here, rounded a few numbers there. $60, and the partnership is yours. Your hand hovers over the coins. This is it. This is the moment. Take the money and become a partner. Build something real, or stay honest and probably fall short. You think about your father, about what he would do. Your father would stay honest, would work another month, would wait until he had earned it properly. Your father is 53 years old and starting over with nothing. You're 24 and holding your future in your hand. You pull your hand back, close the cash drawer, record the day's total accurately, lock up the store, walk home. You're not your father, but you're not a thief either. There has to be another way. December 20th, 1851. You're in your room, looking at your few possessions, trying to figure out what you can sell. Your spare shirt, worth maybe 50 cents. Not enough. Your coat, worth $3. You need it. Winter isn't over. Your boots, worth maybe $4. But then you'd have no boots. Can't work without boots. You have nothing worth selling. Nothing except you pull out the wooden crate, your only furniture. Dig to the bottom. Your father's pocket watch. Brass case, not gold, but well made. Keeps good time. He gave it to you when you left Boston. Said, come home rich or don't come home. You haven't looked at it in months. Haven't wound it. Haven't thought about it. Now you hold it. Feel the weight. The solid construction. The years of use visible in the worn edges. This is the last thing connecting you to home. To your father. To who you were before San Francisco. You take it to a jeweler the next morning. How much, you ask? The jeweler examines it, turns it over, opens the back. Checks the mechanism. Brass case. Good movement. American made. I'll give you $40. It's worth more than that. Not in San Francisco. Gold sells here. Silver sells. Brass, he shrugs. 40 is fair. You think about negotiating, about trying for 50, but you're tired. So tired. Fine, 40. He counts out the coins. You take them, leave the watch on his counter, walk out without looking back. That night, you count your money. 940 plus 40. $980. 20 short. 10 days until January 1st. You work Christmas. Work New Year's Eve. Every hour you can find. Every dollar you can earn. December 31st, 1851. Evening. You're at the wharves, loading cargo onto a ship heading to Sacramento. It's raining, cold rain, the kind that soaks through everything. You're on the last load, 40-pound sacks of flour, carrying them up a wet gangplank. Your boots slip. You catch yourself. Keep going. The foreman pays you at the end, $2, double rate because it's New Year's Eve and he's desperate. You take the coins. Walk back to the boarding house. In your room, you count everything one final time. $982.75. $17.25 short. You sit on your bed, stare at the money, at 8 months of work, of sacrifice, of Wilhelm's gift, of your father's watch, all of it, everything, and you're still short. Tomorrow is January 1st. Tomorrow, Kearney expects an answer. Tomorrow, you fail. You lie back on the bed, close your eyes. Outside, the city is celebrating. Fireworks, shouting, gunfire, men welcoming 1852 with noise and drink and hope. You just lie there, too tired to move, too defeated to care. Sleep comes, and with it dreams of balanced scales that never quite level. January 1st, 1852, you wake at dawn. New Year's Day, the city is quiet, hungover, sleeping off the celebration. You count the money again, still $982.75, still short. You walk to Kearney's anyway. He said January 1st. You'll face it, the store is closed, New Year's Day, but Kearney is inside. You can see lamplight through the window. You knock, he unlocks the door. Nathaniel, didn't expect you today. You said January 1st. I did. He steps aside. Come in. You enter. The store smells like it always does. Lamp oil, tobacco, coffee. Order. Well, Kearney asks, I have $982.75. That's not 1,000? No, sir, it's not. You pull out the leather pouch, all your money, everything. This is what I have. I worked every day for 8 months, worked Sundays, sold everything I owned. A friend died and left me 500. I did everything I could, but I'm 17.25 short. Kearney takes the pouch, doesn't open it, just holds it. You sold everything, everything worth selling, including my father's pocket watch, last thing I had from home. Kearney nods slowly, sets the pouch on the counter. Here's what I see. I see a man who worked himself half to death trying to meet a goal. I see a man who sacrificed everything for a chance at partnership. I see a man who's $17 short but brought every penny he had anyway. I understand if I'm not finished. Kearney opens his cash drawer, counts out $17.25, adds it to your pouch. Consider this in advance against your first year's profits. You now have $1,000. The partnership is yours. You stare at him. Sir, the point wasn't the $1,000. The point was seeing if you'd work for it, if you'd sacrifice, if you understood what it takes to build something real. He pulls out a contract, handwritten, legal language, 10% ownership, 5-year commitment, starting today. You read the contract. It's everything he promised. Fair terms, clear language. There's a pen, Kearney says, if you want it. Your hand is shaking as you pick up the pen. Sign your name at the bottom. Nathaniel Collier, partner. Kearney signs as well. Silas Kearney, senior partner. Congratulations, he says. You're a businessman now. You shake hands. His grip is firm, calloused. The grip of someone who built something from nothing. Thank you, you say. I won't let you down. I know. That's why I chose you. You walk out into the New Year's Day morning. The sun is breaking through the fog, rare for January. But there it is, actual sunlight. You're a partner now, owner of 10% of a business that's worth maybe $10,000. Your share $1,000. You started 18 months ago with $43 and a letter of introduction to a man who'd already left town. Now you own something real. Built on work, on counting, on precise measurements, on showing up every day, and on the gifts of dead men who believed you'd use it better. You think about Wilhelm, about your father's watch, about all the small sacrifices that added up to this moment. It doesn't feel like triumph. It feels like responsibility, heavy responsibility, but you'll carry it because that's what you do. You show up, you count, you measure, you build. One careful number at a time, January through April, 1852. Being a partner is different from being an employee. When you're an employee, you work. Do your job, get paid, go home. When you're a partner, you never go home. Not really. Every decision affects your profit. Every mistake costs your money. Every success adds to your wealth. It's exhausting and exhilarating. The first month business is slow. Winter always is. You clear $300 profit, your 10%, $30, plus your salary, $30. Total $60 for January. More than you made in 2 months as an employee. February is better, $400 profit. You're cut 40, March $500, $50, April $600, $60. You're making $70 to $90 a month now, more than your father made in 3 months. And it's not just salary, it's ownership, it's equity, it's the value of your 10% share growing as the business grows. By May, you've paid back the $17.25 advance to Kearney. Insisted on it. He didn't ask, but you insisted. Debts should be settled, you told him. He just nodded, marked it in the ledger. May 15th, 1852. You're doing inventory, alone. Kearney is meeting with a supplier, trusts you to handle the store. The door opens. A young man enters, maybe 22, worn clothes, desperate eyes. You recognize that look. You had that look 18 months ago. Help you, you ask. I need work, any work. What can you do? I can count. I'm good with numbers. I worked at my father's store back in Philadelphia before he stops, before I came here. Why'd you come? Same reason as everyone, gold. Find any? No, sir. You study him, see yourself in him. The hope, the desperation, the fear. Can you balance scales? You ask. I can learn. You walk to the counter, point to the brass scales. Show me. He tries, gets it wrong, tries again, still wrong. Third try level. You nod. Remember Kearney doing this same test with you. Remember failing, trying again, getting it right. $5 a month, you say. 6 days, 7 to 6, no stealing, no drinking, no being late. Understood. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Start tomorrow. What's your name? John March, sir. After he leaves, you mark it in the daybook. New hire John March, $5 per month. Kearney sees it when he returns. Looks at you. We need the help, you say. He's hungry. That's good. Hungry men work hard. You sound like me. You taught me. Kearney smiles, rare for him. That I did. That night you think about the moment, about being on the other side, about being the one who gives the Joe instead of needing one. Your father gave work to apprentices sometimes. Young stonecutters learning the trade. He'd teach them, pay them, help them build a future. Now you're doing the same thing in a different trade, in a different city, but the same principle. Pass it forward. Build something that lasts beyond yourself. You're not sure when it happened, when you stopped being the desperate young man hoping for 50 cents, when you started being the one who decides. But it happened, and it feels right. June 1852. 2 years. Almost exactly 2 years since you arrived in San Francisco with $43. The city has changed. Population is 70,000 now, maybe 80. The tent cities are smaller, more brick buildings, more permanence. The fires still come, the crime still happens. The Committee of Vigilance still hangs men in Portsmouth Square. But there's order underneath the chaos now. Structure. Rules that mostly work. You've changed too. You're 25 years old. You own 10% of a business worth $12,000. Your share $1,200. You have $400 saved beyond your investment. You employ one person. You're training him the way Kearney trained you. You wear a suit now. A real suit. Cost you $15. It's not fancy, but it's clean, professional. You're not the man who arrived in 1849. Not even close. June 20th, 1852. You're at the post office. Haven't checked for mail in months. But something makes you stop today. Collier, you tell the clerk. He checks, hands you a letter. Your mother's handwriting. You open it right there, can't wait. Dear Nathaniel, your father passed away in April. His heart gave out while he was working on a commission. He died quickly. The doctor said he didn't suffer. I am writing to ask if you can come home. I am alone now. The workshop is closed. I am living on what little savings we had. If you cannot come, I understand. But please write. Please let me know you are well. Your loving mother. You stand there, in the post office, people pushing past you, noise all around. Your father is dead, has been dead for 2 months. You didn't know. Couldn't know. The letter took 4 months to arrive. He died in April. The letter was written in May. You're reading it in June. By the time you could get back to Boston, it would be October. 6 months after his death, too late for the funeral, too late to say goodbye, too late for anything that matters. You fold the letter carefully, put it in your coat pocket, walk outside. The fog is burning off. The sun is out. Ships in the harbor, men working, the city alive and growing. Your father is dead, and you're here, building something he'll never see, becoming someone he'll never meet. You think about the workshop, about watching him cut stone when you were a boy, about the precision, the care, the way he'd measure 3 times before making a cut. He taught you that, taught you to be careful, to be precise, to do it right. You're doing it right, in a different trade, in a different way. But you're doing it right. That night you write back, Dear Mother, I am sorry I was not there. I am sorry I could not help. I am sorry for many things. I cannot come home right now. I have responsibilities here. A business, partners who depend on me. But I am sending money. $100. It is not enough to replace father. Nothing could be. But it will help. I will send more as I can. You will not be alone. You will not be without support. I am doing well here. I have built something. I think father would be proud. Or maybe he wouldn't. I don't know anymore. I love you. I am sorry. Your son, Nathaniel. You seal the letter, add $100 in gold coins. More money than you've ever sent. More money than your father probably saw at one time in his life. It's not enough, will never be enough. But it's what you have. You post the letter the next morning. It will take 4 months to arrive. Your mother will be alone until October. Nothing you can do about that. Distance, time. The cost of choosing California. You go to work, balance the scales, count the inventory, train John March. Do what you do every day, because that's all you know, all you have. The count continues, always continues. July, September, summer fog, cold mornings, the rhythm of work, the extortion continues. Every Monday, Dalton arrives, you hand him $10, mark it in the book. Security $10. You hate it less now, or maybe you just hate it the same, but you're numb to it. Hard to tell. Kearney talks about the Committee of Vigilance, about how they're getting more aggressive, more organized. Brandon's talking about going after the Sydney Ducks directly, he says one evening. Not just hanging individual criminals, actually breaking up the gangs. Will it work? Might or might start a war, hard to say. August 22nd, 1852. The committee makes its move. You hear about it at the store, men rushing in with news. The committee raided 3 Sydney Duck operations last night, arrested 15 men, hanged 2 before dawn. Dalton wasn't one of them, but his organization is crumbling. The next Monday, Dalton doesn't come. You wait until 7, 8, 9. He doesn't show. Tuesday the same. Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, you understand. The extortion is over. You don't mark security $10 in the daybook that week. Kearney sees the missing entry, says nothing, just nods. You hear later from another merchant, Dalton fled to Sacramento when the committee raided his warehouse. Someone said he's probably dead by now. Someone else said he's running another scheme up north. Doesn't matter. He's gone from San Francisco. $10 a week, $40 a month, $480 a year. For 18 months you paid. $864 total. Gone to criminals. Now it's over. You don't celebrate, don't feel relief, just feel tired. The committee broke the Sydney Ducks by becoming more violent than the criminals. More ruthless, more willing to kill without trial. That's justice in San Francisco. The strong destroy the strong. Everyone else just watches. Your father would hate this city, would hate what it makes people become. You're not sure how you feel about it anymore. You just keep counting, keep measuring, keep building, because that's what you do. October 1852, you're at the counter, late afternoon. Slow day. The door opens. A woman enters. Eleanor Hartwell, your landlady. But this is unusual. She's never come to the store before. Eleanor, is something wrong? No, nothing wrong. Can I talk to you privately? You gesture to the back room. She follows. What is it, you ask? She looks nervous, unusual for her. Eleanor is always composed, always in control. I heard about your father, I'm sorry. Thank you. And I heard the other boarders talk. They say, you're doing well. The partnership, the business. I'm surviving. More than surviving. She pauses. Nathaniel, I need advice. Business advice. I'll help if I can. I want to expand the boarding house. Buy the building next door. Double the rooms. Double the income. But I need capital. $500. You wait. The bank won't lend to a woman. Not without a husband. Not without a man to co-sign. I've asked every merchant I know. They all say no. What are you asking me? I'm asking if you'll lend me $500. I'll pay you back. 6% interest over 2 years. $70 every quarter. You do the math. 500 at 6% over 2 years. Total repayment, 560. Quarterly payments of 70 means 8 payments. That's 560 total. The math works. I'll do it, you say. What? I'll lend you 500, 6%, $70 per quarter. That's 560 total over 2 years. You will. On 3 conditions. 1, you give me first right of refusal if you ever sell. 2, you let me review the books quarterly. Make sure the expansion is working. 3, you teach your tenants to do their own laundry. The Chinese woman you employ is underpaid. Eleanor laughs, actually laughs. Deal. You shake hands. Why, she asks. Why help me when everyone else said no? Because I remember being the person everyone said no to. And someone said yes. You pause. And because you're good at what you do, this is a sound investment. Thank you, Nathaniel. After she leaves, you mark it in your personal ledger. Loan to E. Hartwell, $500, 6%, 2 years. You're a creditor now, a lender, someone with enough capital to invest in other people's dreams. When did that happen? When did you become the person with money to spare? You think about your father, about how he never had $500 to lend, never had capital beyond basic survival. You're 25 and you're lending $500 to a friend. Your father was 53 when he died. Still working for wages, still dependent on the next commission. You broke the cycle, somehow. Through work and luck and Wilhelm's gift and a pocket watch you'll never see again. You broke the cycle. That night you sleep, and for the first time in months it feels earned, actually earned, not stolen, not purchased, not built on compromise, just earned. December 1852, 2 years and 1 month since you arrived. The city has 80,000 people now, maybe 90,000. The growth is slowing, the easy gold is gone. The miners who are left are working claims with hydraulic equipment, big operations, corporate ventures. The tent cities are mostly gone, replaced by wooden buildings, some brick, some stone. The fires still come, but less frequently. The city is learning, building smarter, using materials that don't burn. Christmas Eve, you're at the boarding house. Eleanor invited all the tenants to dinner. 12 men, all workers, clerks, laborers, craftsmen. The meal is simple: roast chicken, potatoes, bread, but it's shared, it's human. Eleanor raises her glass, water, not wine. To 1853, may it be kinder than the years before. 1853, everyone echoes. You think about what 1853 means. Another year here, another year building, another year away from Boston, from your mother, from everything you were, but also another year towards something, towards stability, toward wealth, toward whatever comes next. After dinner, you walk. The city at night, quieter now than it used to be, still dangerous, still chaotic, but less than before. You end up at Portsmouth Square, the place where you saw your first hanging, where the Committee of Vigilance dispenses justice without judges. The gallows are gone now, taken down. The committee is less active. The city has actual police now, actual courts, actual law. It's slow, it's imperfect, but it's progress. You stand in the square, empty on Christmas Eve, just you in the fog. You think about a question you asked yourself 2 years ago. Does honest work mean anything? You have an answer now. Honest work doesn't mean fairness. Your father worked honestly his whole life. Died broke. Doesn't mean safety. Wilhelm worked honestly. Saved honestly. Died of dysentery with $500 he never got to use. Doesn't mean justice. The committee hangs men without trial. The Sydney Ducks extorted for years before anyone stopped them. Honest work just means this: when you lie down at night, you know exactly what you did. You know exactly what you counted. You know exactly what you built. You can sleep because the numbers balance, because the scales are level, because you showed up and did the thing. That's all it means. That's all it ever means. And somehow in this city of mud and gold and chaos, that's enough. You walk back to the boarding house. Tomorrow is Christmas. The store is closed. You'll sleep late, eat Eleanor's breakfast, maybe write to your mother, maybe just rest. But the day after, the count continues. The scales need balancing. The inventory needs checking. The business needs running. Always continues. Because that's what you do, what you've always done. What your father taught you, even if he didn't know he was teaching it. You show up, you measure carefully, you get it right, one number at a time, one day at a time, one careful transaction at a time, building something that might last or might burn tomorrow. You don't know, but you show up anyway, because showing up is all that matters, all that ever matters. You enter the boarding house, climb the stairs to room 7, your room, with walls and a door that locks. You light the lamp. Sit on your bed, the real bed with the real mattress. You open your personal ledger, the small notebook where you track everything. Assets, $900 cash, $1,200 equity in business, $500 loan to Eleanor, $17.25 owed from Kearney repaid. Total $2,600. $2,600. Your father's entire lifetime earnings were probably less than that. You close the ledger, hide it under the floorboard with your money, lie back on the bed. Outside, the city continues. Hammering, always hammering, building, always building. Inside, quiet. Your breathing slows. The fog, the cold, the smell of lamp oil and clean cotton. Let sleep take you now. The way it took Nathaniel Collier in San Francisco in December 1852. The way it takes anyone who learns to balance scales. Anyone who shows up, who counts carefully, who builds something from mud and numbers in steady hands. The count is done for today. Tomorrow it starts again. Your mother's letter will arrive in March 1853. She'll thank you for the $100. Say she's managing. Say she's proud of you, even if your father would have wanted you home. John March, the clerk you hired, will stay for 5 years. We'll save his money. We'll eventually open his own store in Sacramento. We'll hire young men fresh off ships. We'll teach them to balance scales, the cycle continuing. Eleanor will repay her loan on time. Every quarter, $70. We'll expand her boarding house. We'll become one of the most successful boarding house operators in San Francisco. We'll never remarry. We'll say she doesn't need to. Kearney will pay off his St. Louis debts in 1853. Every penny with interest. We'll write a letter to the people he owed. We'll say a debt is a debt regardless of distance or time. You'll learn this years later, after Kearney retires, after he shows you that letter, after he tells you the past catches up eventually. Best to settle accounts while you can. And San Francisco will keep burning, keep rebuilding, keep growing. The fire of 1853 will be worse than all the others. But by then you'll have insurance. We'll have brick buildings. We'll have learned. The city will survive. We'll become permanent. We'll become the San Francisco that lasts into the next century and beyond. But tonight you don't know any of that yet. Tonight you just close your eyes and sleep. Earn sleep. Honest sleep. The sleep of someone who showed up, who counted, who built. The fog presses against the window. The bells ring in the distance. The city settles into its rhythms, and you sleep. Deep sleep. The kind that comes after work well done, after scales balanced, after numbers that add up, after a day lived with precision and care. Good night, Nathaniel Collier. Good night, San Francisco. Good night, 1852. Tomorrow will come soon enough, with its scales to balance, its counts to complete, its careful work to be done. But tonight, rest. You've earned it. The scales are balanced. The count is right. The work is done. That's all that matters. That's all that ever matters. Sleep now. Let it take you the way it takes everyone who learns this simple truth. Show up. Count carefully. Build something real. One number at a time. One day at a time. One life at a time. That's enough. That's more than enough. Good night.